Okay, so recently, if you had watched my unboxing, you'll know that I got the Marvel Lux comic for League of Legends, and I said I was going to do a review for it, and that is what this is. Also, I had gotten this previously at an earlier date. I have also the Ash one, so I'm going to be reviewing both of those. Um, First off, I'll show you again. I think the art on these is pretty good. Um, I mean, and it's consistent. When it comes to trades and or graphic novels, whichever term you prefer to call them, what sells them for me a lot of times is consistency. Um, I'm not a biggest fan of getting a trade and 4 or 5 issues into it, or another volume later, the artist or the style is drastically changed. I understand it's a thing and it happens. However, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Though, for both these, actually, the art stays consistent. Um, Lux kind of reminds me of almost kind of like a Greek or Roman epic. It's very interesting to get to see these video game characters in kind of a more um, in-depth light to their backgrounds, their stories. I've always been very intrigued by the lore of League of Legends, the stories behind it, and I found it very interesting to get it in comic book form. I think it was definitely a smart move by Riot and Marvel to do these. I'm hoping they have done well. I didn't look up to see if they were well received by critics or not. The writer, in case anyone's interested, is John O'Brien. I haven't heard of him. I tried to look him up. I think he's a new writer. I think this is his first series, and I have to say he's done a pretty good job. There were a few times I thought the writing was a little lackluster, but overall it was a good story. It's a nice little mini arc, and it definitely leaves you wanting for more. The price on this, if you're interested in picking it up, is $15.99. You can find it easily on Amazon. I'm not sure if it's something your local comic shop would have, but try to look there first if you can. I mean, support local. Not against shopping on Amazon either. I do it a lot. But, if you have a good rapport with your comic shop, your local one, and you would like to support them, I definitely wouldn't discourage you doing that. So Ash, talk about that one now. The writer is also a new writer, from what I understand. Odin Austin Schaefer. And just as Lux had consistent art, Ash also too has consistent art. And the price is the same. This one's kind of more of a, it read a little bit more closed off. It was still a really good story. It kind of reminded me of Horizon Zero Dawn. It kind of had that atmosphere, and there's nothing wrong with that. It made it rather enjoyable, kind of familiar, almost kind of reminisce also of the Northern Lands in Game of Thrones, which name is escaping me at the moment. Overall, and I'll show you the cover again, the art, I think, is pretty good in these. I have to say, between the art and the story, which, I mean, is the most important thing in a comic, is the art and story, they're quite done up well. And I'll show you a little glimpse of the inside art. And I definitely, I'm looking forward to the next trade. These do come out in singles, but I'm kind of, like I've said before, I am not big into collecting singles. They take up a lot of room. They're hard to store. The comic book boxes get rather heavy after a while, and I switch to trade so I can nicely, neatly put them on my bookshelf. That being said, next there is a Zed coming up comic. I think the singles have already come out. I believe, in fact, I'll look it up. There's some click clacks now. Um, Zed's coming out in May sometime, and you can already pre-order it. Yeah, May 26th. I'm not sure if that date is the same for um, local comic shops or wherever you prefer to get your comics. That's just what I'm seeing here on Amazon. Um, I definitely think these are worth the price. I've certainly seen other trades equivalent size with a lot higher cost and price. I've seen trades this thick go for 25, and quite frankly, 4 to 5 issues, I do not want to pay $25, $30 for them. I think that's a little ridiculous. Um, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, if you are interested in the League of Legends comics, I'd highly recommend them. I'm not disappointed. And if you have no idea what League of Legends is, definitely check it out. I'll drop a link. The characters definitely they've done a really good job in their development. I mean, especially with the amount of they've developed, I think 150 or more characters. I don't know the number off the top of my head, and each one of them is very unique and very interesting. And I think they've done a good job with it, and I'm glad to see that their lore and their world is coming to different formats. And it's just kind of exciting. I'd like to see League of Legends do even reach out and do even other types of media. I'd like to see maybe a cartoon show, something along those lines. I think would be really interesting. But like I said, if you're interested, you've got some cash to spend, and you like reading comics, check it out. And tell me what you guys think. Have a nice day, and God bless.